After a long break, the FIAs are back. We got rolling earthquakes in California. We got heat advisories on the Gulf Coast. And to top it off, we've got the Chicane of Death. The question is, will we survive? Watch and find out. DJ Clean, show us what you got. Welcome to the channel. This is Geauxgreddy, your 2018-2019 SCCA Senla Region F Street Autocross Champion and GT Sport Sim Racer. If you like what you see, I ask that you hit the like button. If you really like what you see, go ahead and hit that subscribe. And we start the action here in the qualifications as I'm kind of letting this gaggle of folks out in front of me here get some room before I start my qualification lap. Just want to make a little bit of space. I've not had good luck with being right behind the individuals when I start my qualifying lap. And Steve,
why can't y'all just make some fucking goddamn room? Why
like I said,
between you and the car and the motherfucker in front of you. I'll tell you why, because you're a fucking idiot. That's why.
Exactly. Thanks, Steve. So after my mini tirade there, needs to say my next 2 laps weren't outstanding. They were okay. I think I was like, I don't know, around 14, 15, 16, 17 in that area. Don't remember. So just a reminder to folks, try to be cognizant of those around you in qualification. Leave a little space and qualify well. So good luck to Steve. I hope you had a good race, buddy. I know I did, so no harm, no foul. Just a little rant there at the beginning. So let's move on to the real qualifying lap. All right, so here we go. And I guess it was kind of one of the more bizarre qualifying laps I think I've ever had. But it turned out well. So here it is. So here you want to be over to the right, probably a little more on the curb than I do. But for whatever reason, it feels like my Lexus gets fairly upset on the curb. So I generally, I don't know, I didn't hang out on them too much. Some of them upset it more than others. This one, if you took it wrong, it would send you flying. This one, I like to be on it, but I missed it. Again, you can ride wide on this one with the Lexus. I didn't have any problems with it. But, going up that hill back there, a very important part of the lap. Getting in here on the apex, carrying speed through here. I did an okay job there. As you can see, he ghosted out. Could have been distracting, but I managed to ignore it and went on through. I see another yellow flag come up for no passing. I'm thinking, oh, this isn't good. There's going to be someone crash in the middle of the course. And sure enough, there was some off the right, but he hung off the right, stayed out of the way. I appreciate that. Got on the brakes good here. I want to be about 60 miles an hour coming through that curve. I was a little bit slower than that, so not the best ever, but I'm 8/10 under my previous best lap, so that's putting me in 139s. And someone else is ghosting through there. Going through the chicane, kind of slow to be honest. As another ghosted person is there, and then I pass another one. I've never passed so many people on my qualifying lap in my life. So I'm hoping that nothing crazy happens before I finally make it to the finish line. I'm out of the final corner, carry okay speed, get on the gas early. And we got past another person, got another person ghosted. I think I passed like 7 people on that qualifying lap. Come through the 139, 136 was pretty good. And I was relieved. So that put me in 4th. Happy with that. So just quickly glancing over the lobby, a lot of SS drivers, more than I usually see. A lot of AS drivers as I'm getting very close to making it to A. And quite a few BS drivers. So a good mix of folks in the room. Looking forward to a good race. A few people that I recognized in the room. DNA Thor, I've raced with him before, as well as ERT Rocket Man. A couple names that I really recognized in there. So looking forward to a good race. Let's get you to the introductions. Alrighty, thank you, Opera Lady. And of course, with the end of the Opera Lady, you know what that means. That's right, it's time for the introduction. So who did we have in first? First was DNA Thor in the Viper with a 138, 847 and 17th ranked in the lobby. And second, CNF Blue Blazing, 8th ranked in the lobby with a 138, 948 in that GR3. Calmono in third, 12th ranked in the lobby with a 139.052. In fourth, Geauxgreddy in the RCF GT3 with a 139.136, 20th ranked in the lobby. Number 5 is Jeff Burton, 139.196. In sixth, Crow Magner in the RCZ with a 139.254. In seventh and fifth ranked in the lobbies, Wanna Bestie with a 139.280 in that BW. In eighth, Shifter 125cc with a 139.448 in the M6. In ninth, ERT Rocket Man with a 139.558 also in the RCF. And in 10th, we have Robrowinski, whatever you say that, with a 139.773. And 11th, Biolaster in the FT1. And 12th, Wilasicity, I don't know, with a 139.868. And 13th with a sweet livery is Mix 2001. I dig that livery. In 14th, Mountaineer 301, the 142.07 in his Supra. In 15th, Stephen H. with some numbers. Also my friend from qualifying. In 16th, NG Chit Chat, the 143.14. In 17th, Uncle Bo 1 with the 140.328. In 18th, Trey Zilla in the AMG. In 19th, T-Spotter 723, the crazy livery himself, 146.20. It's his time. And last but not least, in 20th is Kilroy G. Juno with a 141.010. So let's see, a 140.010 to a 138.9. So just a little over a second splits the lobby, a second, 1.2, 1.1 seconds or so, front to back. So, you know, as you move up the ranks in the lobbies, what I have noticed, is that gap from first to last place. Qualifying times get smaller and smaller. So there's certainly less wiggle room. So we take off here in the beginning, and I'm guessing old Kyle Mono was on the fuel saving policy for a no stopper, because I easily just went on by him, dropped the anchor there at the 100 bore, and turned my sights on CNF Blue Blazing. So, you know, the question here is, when you start this race, is what strategy are your opponents on? Because if they're on the no stopper, you should, you know, and you're not on a non-stop strategy, you should catch up to them rather quickly. And you'll notice in sections as CNF Blue Blazing gets a little loose there coming up the hill, and I go to make the move on the inside. Now, he didn't press too hard on it, so I was pretty sure he was also on that no-stop strategy. And I held it through there. He gave me room. It was good, clean racing by Blue Blazing. Appreciate that, sir. And I turned my sights on DNA Thor. Now, DNA Thor seems to be pressing hard and getting away there from Blue Blazing. So I'm thinking he's on a one-stop. I'm thinking the two folks I just passed are on a no-stop, simply by the way they're driving. And we did quite a few practice tests because we had a huge break. So you could really tell rather quickly whether people are on a no-stop or not by how my car kind of caught up to them with the way that I drive. So, hey, looking good. Made it through the first chicane of death without death. So I was happy with that. And I've gotten into the slipstream. DNA Thor. You know, once again, once you get within that 0.8 second range, you are in the prime suck zone. So right now, DNA sucking me straight down that long straight here at Dragon's Trail Seaside. And I am liking it. I'm liking it a lot, because then I can short shift, I can save fuel, maybe save a little bit of tire, and take advantage of that later on in the race. Because those no-stoppers, if they're running a good no-stop race, if they're running around 141s, even a 142, it is going to be hard for me to catch back up to them if I have to add too much fuel to my vehicle when I swap on my new set of tires. So, in my back pocket, I've got the strategy of going without a set of tires and just adding fuel, kind of depending on how the race goes. So, really kind of a feeler situation. Right now, I'm pretty happy just sitting here in DNA Thor's slipstream. I mean, he finished, poled. He ran a 138 on his qualification lap. I have not run a 138 in any of my qualifying laps. I believe during the race I got in a 138 once in someone's slipstream, but that's about it. So in the lobby, I managed a very low 138, like 138.4, but never really managed that in race pace. So just don't quite have it, can't quite keep that speed through the Chicane of Death right there as I clip the wall. Which is letting DNA Thor get away. As you can notice, if you look in the upper left-hand corner there, he's got a 1 second lead. So I'm out of the prime suck zone. So right now he's got a big old smile across his face as the Geauxgreddy green Lexus is disappearing from his rearview mirror. Of course, I've got a pretty big smile across my face because Blue Blazing is falling to about 2.5 seconds back behind me. So again, knowing that he's likely on that no stop strategy, I need to put even more distance between him and I as this race progresses. I'm going to come in on lap 5. That is my chosen time to get fuel, unless something weird happens. You know, you spin out and you eat some tires up. The idea is to come in on lap 5. If you know, I could go 6 laps, but of course I'd be eating the tar out of my tires, and that wouldn't be any good. So here we are heading uphill. Always trying to carry that speed up through hill. Right here is so important to get on the gas early at the bottom of that hill. Carry good speed through that first corner, but not too much. You'll go a little wild there. So heading towards the Chicane of Death. Drop the anchor here between the 150 and 100 board. Want to get on this curb carrying about 58 to 61 miles an hour, something like that. Use this curbing on the outside there if you need to keep you from flying off track. I didn't carry enough speed into the corner, so I didn't need to use curbing. Here, you got to get over to the right-hand side and then try and just match the angle on that edge right there. It could have been a little bit further off to the right and carried a little more speed. But, yeah, I mean, if you make it through the Chicane of Death alive, that makes you pretty happy on its own. So, heading back down in the final corner here on lap 2. DNA Thor just slowly pulling away. And if you notice behind me, I no longer have CNF Blue Blazing. I have Mr. Jeff Burton on my rear end. So I'm guessing that Mr. Burton is on a one stopper as well, since he passed up Blue Blazing. And typically what I noticed, the reason I didn't like the no stop strategy was if you didn't qualify basically P1 or P2, then you were racing to maintain position because you were so concerned with saving fuel that you weren't really passing anyone. You were more wanting to sit in their slipstream, and then that move would come in the pit stops. Who saves the most gas would come out the pits first, and so that's how you would gain your advantage in the no stopper. Now, if you were racing against a bunch of other people and no one was doing a no stopper and you were the only one doing it, then I could definitely see where there would be an advantage there, because people would be passing. You could constantly use their slipstream as they go by and use that to your advantage. But in a case where you have more than one trying the same strategy, I don't know how well it works. And to be honest, in my level of driving and being a BS driver, I'm really not that skilled at keeping the tires alive. I mean, you can look at my tires right now. We're 4 laps in the race. I've got about a quarter of my front left tire gone. Granted, right now my brake balance 0. I'm not even sending any to the rear because I know I'm stopping on lap 5 to get a new set of tires. But I can put that back 2 to 3 to the rear, but that's going to also lose me just a little bit of lap time coming through the corners because it makes the rear end get squirrely. I didn't want to do that, so I set it on 0. You know, like I told my buddy Revo before this race, if I wanted to drive to save fuel, I'd hop in my car and go to work. I so much more just enjoy racing all out. Now, I do some short shifting to save a little fuel here and there, but for the most part, I feel like at any point in this race, if I need to, I can push the car. If I need to make a move, you know, if DNA Thor hits a wall up here and I need to really get on it to try and get past him, I don't feel like, oh no, I can't do that. I need to save my no stopper. So I just enjoy racing like this much better. So, you know, I've never been able to make the no stopper work. Maybe you just have to have some type of special skills to do it. Be extremely patient. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not that patient, or I just like going fast. I think it's just because I like going fast. Yeah. I mean, it is a racing game after all. So I'm just gonna blame it on that I just like to go fast. So here we are on lap 5. This is the lap I plan on pitting on. Again, got to get through the Chicane of Death alive. Very important. So head around that tight right-hander as we head towards the Chicane of Death, penned by none other than Super GT. Stay over the right here nicely. Get back on this curve. Get as close to the wall as possible. try and carry some speed, get on the gas early so you're carrying that speed out of the corner. Probably could have carried another 3-4 miles an hour through there, but I was chicken crap, so chicken poo-poo. Although I thought my tirade there at the beginning covered all the curse word and profanities that I needed for the whole stream, so I'm just going to leave this all at the beginning. So let's head in the pits. Let's see how I did on fuel. Let's see how, I'll throw on some new tires, see what everyone else did. So DNA Thor comes in. He's got 17% fuel left. I have 21% fuel. Jeff Burton has 6, and Shifter 125cc has 3. So I'm doing really good on fuel. I raced hard. I was just short shifting here and there. My plan here is to put in about 0.2 laps less than I need to finish the race and just continue racing like I was. So didn't quite hit it. Hit 3.9. Not bad. Come out the pits, gained a little bit of time on DNA Thor, and put a little bit of time on all the guys that were one stopping with me. Very important, because as you see here, I'm coming out in 5th, which means I got 3 no stoppers in front of us. So we have CF Blue Blazing, we have Cal Mono, and we have ERT Rocket Man, all running the no stopper. So I come out the pits, sitting, in 5th behind DNA Thor. So we've got to get through this no stop traffic. Luckily, we didn't come out that far behind them. We did a good job of the beginning of the race, putting good lap times in. I ran steady 140s there. I've looked at DNA Thor's. He was 139s, 138s, and I think a 140 or something like that. And so we did a good job just putting in steady, good, solid lap times that kept us in here. I did a good job saving fuel. I'm guessing DNA Thor must have either fueled exactly the same amount I did, 3.9-ish, 4, or maybe a little bit less, to keep him in that little gap in front of me. Now, I want to get back in DNA Thor's slipstream here, but he's just a little bit faster than I am, and he's in that darn Viper that they just fixed with the BOP, so he is rocking and rolling. Of course, they fattened up my Lexus a little bit, so I'm not quite as quick as I used to be coming down these straights, and I can definitely tell the difference. I used to have very little trouble running down people's on the straights, which is one of the reasons why I picked the Lexus, because I struggle passing in the corners. So I figure it's just better if I pass people on the straights. So thank you, Polyphony Digital, for ruining my car. Nah, it's really not that bad. I really can't tell that much difference. So anyway, so DNA Thor making moves there on Calmono and ERT Rocket Man. Moving quickly up into 2nd, but that leaves a lot of work for me in a section of the track I really don't want to be making passes, again, in the corner section. But I'm going to do what I have to do. I come up here, I'm making a pretty good run on Calmono. Now I can make a decision here to try and, lunge down on the inside. I choose not to. I've come off the gas. You can see I coast into the corner. I'm going to try and find a good spot to make a pass on Calmono. Maybe it's here as I come up the hill. I'm giving it full throttle. He is not, so I take advantage of that and I power downhill. He turns into me a little bit. I don't think he was expecting me to try and make the pass right there, and it just didn't see me come on his inside, but it was no big deal. Made the pass on him, moving in on ERT Rocket Man now, hoping he stays in DNA Thor's slipstream so that I can pull into his slipstream. Because as you can see, I've got about 13 seconds to make up on the leader, and I really need to be on the back side of DNA Thor so he can kind of pull me up there, because he's definitely got a little better pace than I do. So heading the chicane, 1, 2, 3 of us, and a yellow flag, and that could be good news. If that is, and it is, Blue Blazing makes a mistake in the Chicane of Death. Yes, the Death Chicane takes its first victim. So let's go back. Let's see what happened to Blue Blazing there in the Chicane of Death. All right, so here he comes. He's entering into the chicane area. He takes that first right-hander on the curbing. Nice there. Comes through there. Could be a little wider, which causes him to a little shallow. Hits that wall and smashes head on the outside of the Chicane of Death. And it will not have it, and it sends him the wrong direction. He backs in the wall. He's trying to get it turned around. I'm sure he has engine damage too. He is just kicking himself right now. That 13-second lead goes to waste as me, DNA Thor, Cal Mono, and Jeff Burton all go whizzing by. Man, but I tell you what, that helps me out immensely. That's the other problem with that no-stop strategy. You've got to be perfect. Any penalty, anything like that, just kills your race, because on the end you are on dead tires. So you've got to have every ounce of lead that you can have. So it's just DNA Thor and I, and ERT Rocket Man, 1, 2, and 3, heading towards the final 2 laps. Now, Rocket Man almost within slipstream of me in lap 8 here in the penultimate lap. And I'm just putting a little bit of gap on him here as I pulled a 1.2 seconds, just getting out of that slipstream. But I just cannot reel in DNA Thor and that Viper, man. He is just, his pace has been so good and so steady this whole race. You just got to tip your hat to a guy that's just, I mean, except the very beginning of the race, has just really been in charge of this track against all of us in here, just really laying down those consistent laps. So doing my best to reel him in. I need a good chicane of death so I can carry a bunch of speed out, get wide. I'm trying to get on the gas, and I just feel it's not going to make it. So I wuss out and let off the gas a little too long. Do not make up any more ground. So I have a little over 2.5 seconds on Rocket Man, and let's come in here, the final lap, thinking, you know what? I just need to be able to see DNA Thor in case he dies of death in the Chicane of Death. And that way I could possibly overtake him if something wild happened, but I don't have to be on his bumper to do that. He's pretty much got me as I drift around corner 2. That was a fun moment. But I really, it's lap 9, I'm in position 2. I don't want to do something stupid that's going to bring Rocket Man back into the race. So as you can see, I just kind of lollygag around that right-hander. Make sure I don't do anything silly, spin out, anything like that. Again here, I just want to get onto this apex on the inside, let off, just let her coast into there, get on the gas, back it off just a little bit here. Just, you know, sometimes you can just run too hot through here, get on the other side of that curb, and it is game over. So I didn't want that to happen. Yeah, don't want to end my race on lap 9. I don't want to bottle it there at the very end. That would be tragic. Be a great Super GT video, but not a good Geauxgreddy video. So again, last chance of the Chicane of Death, last chance for it to kill me, and it does not, as I ease it through there like I'm on my way to church on Sunday morning. DNA Thor is going to take it, folks. Let's see how the rest finish. All right, so DNA Thor takes the win. Of course, myself, Geauxgreddy, in second and third. ERT Rocket Man, followed by Jeff Burton and Shifter 125cc. Then Miggs 2001, Calamano, and Wife Cycle, followed by NG Chit Chat. And then in 10th, we will have Mountaineer 301 and Balcaster. And 12th, Wannabestie, then Steven, followed by Trey Zilla, Uncle Bo, Rainbowinski, and then Blue Blazing, who had the accident there, who was leading the race. Then Crow Magner, and finally, at the end, we have T-Spotter. So those are the finishing results there, folks. It was a good race. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I hope you also enjoyed the race and the video. And if you did, I ask again that you hit the like button. If you really liked it, go ahead and hit the subscribe, and I would appreciate it. So there it is, second place, 1,178 points, my best on the season. Happy with that. So that's it for round 4. DJ Clean, why don't you take us out of here?